In 2023, he shook the nation, but in 2025, they've returned with a new tool, more dangerous than before, the Crowbar Coalition. The plan: wedge him out, weaken his roots, then quietly remove him from the stage. But there's one problem: Peter Obi doesn't bend easily. The unholy invitation. It began with what looked like an open hand. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, once a fringe third party, suddenly found itself transformed into a throne room for fallen kings. Atiku, El-Rufai, Rotimi, Amaechi, all circling like lions who hadn't fed since 2023. They said they wanted a unified opposition. They said the door was open for everyone. But deep inside those halls, the whispers began. Don't just bring Obi in, control him. Make him one of us, or make him irrelevant. Peter Obi was invited to join what was branded as a coalition to rescue Nigeria. But those close to the inner circle knew the coalition had teeth, and they were sharpening it for someone. The power play begins. Suddenly, ADC's old leadership stepped down, swept aside like outdated files, replaced by men with national muscle: David Mark, Erekbisola, and other veterans of the old political order. Obi's followers cheered. Finally, a platform big enough for the dream. But not everyone inside was clapping. From the grassroots, Osun, Delta, Plateau, state chairmen began pushing back. They saw what others missed. This wasn't a marriage. It was a takeover. And Peter Obi? He was now sitting in a room full of people who had once mocked the Obidient movement. They wanted him on the flyer. They wanted his followers, but they didn't want his ideas. The South-South warning. Then came the public dagger. A group called SHELF, the South-South Emerging Leaders Forum, stepped out and accused Obi of seeking a free ticket. They threw back his past at him. You left PDP before the 2023 primaries. You want to do it again in ADC? They weren't asking for equity. They were planting doubt, painting Peter Obi as a man who runs from fair fights. But those who knew Obi knew the truth. He wasn't afraid of the fight. He was afraid of a rigged ring. Still, the media frenzy was brutal. Headlines turned toxic. And for the first time in months, some Obedients paused. Is he really in control? The fire from his own house. As if that wasn't enough, another blow came from within. A coalition of Nigerian youth, the very generation Obi had inspired, stood up and said, "We reject this alliance. These are recycled leaders. This isn't change. It's repackaged failure." Obi's name was now entangled in a web of the very people he once stood apart from. But they didn't see what he was doing. Behind closed doors, Obi was negotiating peace, not surrender. He knew Nigeria needed more than one man. It needed unity, but it also needed honesty. And that's where he drew the line. The line he wouldn't cross. While they offered him a throne, Obi whispered, "Not if it means silencing others. Not if it means locking out the youth. Not if it turns Obedience into just another political fan club." They tried to buy his silence. They tried to box him into a coalition that didn't speak his truth. But Peter Obi refused the crown, if it came wrapped in compromise. Instead, he began a silent campaign, meeting local ADC leaders quietly, one-on-one, demanding an open primary, no coronation, refusing automatic zoning deals, and preparing to step down if it meant standing tall. The stone they rejected today. As the ADC drama unfolds, one thing is clear: Peter Obi is not their puppet. He's their mirror, showing them what leadership should look like. And that's why they fear him. But the Obidient movement must stay awake. The battle is no longer on the ballot. It's in the boardrooms, the coalitions, the silent documents passed around in Abuja. This isn't just about 2027. It's about whether integrity still has a place in Nigerian politics. And Peter Obi, he may be surrounded by old generals, but he's still marching to a new beat. They tried to pull him out with a crowbar, but you can't remove a man who is rooted in truth. Not this time.